Promineo Tech Front-End Bootcamp Week 13, Introduction to Using Vite and Typescript. This week we were to take our app from last week and copy it over into a new Vite project, into TypeScript type file to convert it into TypeScript and then split it into multiple files in order to practice with the import and export functions. So I have split it into 3 total TypeScript files here. Main, add commission, and modify commission, importing the important functions from the other 2 files into the main file, as well as all of my styling and jQuery in order to make sure that the page continues to run as it did last week. So when I copied and pasted it from the JavaScript into the TypeScript, in order to have commission here as part of the function, I wanted to make sure that it had a type, and rather than typing all of this out in the function itself, I decided to separate it into a custom type, which it then uses to create the HTML as I did last week for the render. And for my click events, I had to have the click events in the main file or they wouldn't work as intended, as the main is the only one attached to the HTML. So I separated out the internal function that I'd manually put in the click function into their own named functions that I then put into these separate files. Now to get these to work, I have to use both render and the base URL from main, so I'm importing and exporting between all of them. This is pretty simple. I didn't need to add any extra typing to add commission. However, for the delete and toggle commissions, I had to add a type to this, and I used the HTML button element to mark that it was a button being clicked from the HTML. And then for fetch commission, it also wanted me to type the ID, which the IDs use both numbers and letters, so they are a string. Now with all these imports and exports and typing, it does still run as intended. If I type in a title and a description, and when I add it, it successfully adds. You can see it over here where I have it watching the JSON file, and up here I am using the npm run dev with Vite in order to run it. I can toggle and toggle it back, as well as deleting it. And everything functions exactly as it did, even when all the JavaScript was in the same file, due to using imports and exports. So this is my CRUD application for a second time, this time with TypeScript and Vite.